Welcome to my video lecture. I am Dr. A. Velmurugan, Associate Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Government College of Engineering, Chettikare, Dharmaburi. In this video lecture from upcoming semester Thermal Engineering 1, Unit 4, Internal Combustion Engine Performance and System. From Module 1, we can discuss about the introduction about the basic performance parameter used from the internal combustion engine. So generally from the basic parameters are, that is from the performance engine is, that is a brake thermal efficiency, brake specific fuel consumption, brake mean effective pressure, indicating mean effective pressure, torque, indicated thermal efficiency, and mechanical efficiency. So from the list of contents in the unit 4 is performance parameter and calculation, Morse test and heat balance test, and also we can discuss about the multi-point fuel injection system and common rail direct injection system, and what are the ignition system used for the internal combustion engine, that is a magneto ignition system, battery ignition system, and the electronic injection system, and also we can discuss about the lubrication and cooling system and the concepts of supercharging and turbocharging. Finally, we can discuss about the emission norms. So before we go to discuss about the performance parameter, so first of all, you should know about what is meant by brake power. From the brake power is the power output of the drive, the shaft of the engine without the power loss caused by the gears, transmission, friction, etc. It is also called a useful power or true power. So generally from the brake power is the power developed on the engine of the output of the shaft is called brake power. So next point we can discuss about specific fuel consumption. The mass flow rate of the fuel required to produce a unit of a brake power. The specific fuel consumption is expressed in SI unit as the kilogram per hour per kilogram per kilowatt per hour. It allows the engine of all different sizes to compare to the C, which is most fuel efficient. So next point, that is a brake thermal efficiency. The brake thermal efficiency is the ratio of brake power output to the power input. It is used to evaluate how the efficient on the engine is convert the heat from the fuel to the mechanical energy. It is expressed in percentage. So next point is indicated thermal efficiency, the ratio between the indicated power output of an engine and the rate of supply of the energy from the fuel. So next we can discuss about the frictional power. An engine has many moving parts that produce the friction. Some of these frictional forces remain constant. Some of these friction losses increase and engine speed increases, such a piston side forces and connecting the bearing forces due to the increased inertia force from the oscillating the piston. A few frictional forces decreases at higher speed, such as a frictional force on the cam slabs, which is used to operate the inlet and outlet valves. The valves are inertia at high speed and tends to the from that pull the cam follower away from the cam loop. So generally from that engine, for example, from the engine is acting from the 3.7 kilowatt means or 5 HP engine means from here that is a one third there will be affected from the engine is there is a frictional power. So next we can discuss about the types of loading in the engines. So from the load, as when the engine is doing work, whatever the work the engine is doing, the place is called load on the engine, which resists the engine turning motion and slow the engine speed down, and so it requires the more throttle to the maintain speed. And also that it's a partial load or part load is when the engine is doing work that would stall in the engine at ideal but does not require full throttle, just partial throttle. A good example would be car traveling at the highway speed or up a slight grade. So next test is motoring test. It is the method of engine testing used to measure the power output of the engine. The temperature of the engine is piston and cylinder walls together with other working parts, and also the engine oil falls below the normal working temperature during the motoring test, and with the lack of exhaust gas, etc., the frictional and pumping losses are somewhat modified. So next you can see about the uses of retardation sets. It is used to find the reduction in the speed with respect to time in the IC engines. Next we can discuss about the Morse test. The Morse test is adapted to find the indicated power of the each cylinder of a high speed internal combustion engine without using the indicator diagram. So next, we can improve the efficiency of the diesel engine. Means, so by the method of increasing the injection pressure from that diesel engine, the injection pressure is standard engine is around 200 bar. So we can increase the injection pressure, we get the better efficiency, and also to increase the compression ratio and increasing the cutoff ratio. And the uses of heat balance test is, the heat balance test is nothing but that heat balance is some amount of heat input to the engine, that is a heat balance. From the heat balance test use to identify the useful proportion of the power output and various losses, and thereby taking measures to minimize the losses of improving efficiency. After that, from the based upon the heat balance test, that is unaccounted losses are, that is a radiation loss and a convection loss. So reduce the heat losses to optimizing the cooling rate using the appropriate coolant, use of exhaust gas recirculation to recover the heat loss. The purpose of cooling water is being used on an engine is to avoid the engine getting overheated, to prevent the engine seizing. So heat loss affect the engine performance is, that is a reduction in the net power output and a decrease in the efficiency. So from this slide we can discuss about the what are all the tests conducted for the internal combustion engine. The first test is load test to determine the load characteristics of the engine and the economic load. So economic load is generally about the maximum breakthrough efficiency and the minimum fuel consumption. Based upon this in between point, that is known as a economic load. So next test is speed test to determine the speed characteristics of the engine and the economic speed. So next test is heat balance test to determine the distribution of the heat input to on the engine. So after other tests also available, so based upon the research purpose, we can goes to the effect of compression ratio on the petrol engine and diesel engine, and also we can change the effect of injection pressure and injection timing on the diesel engine performance. So from the based upon the load test, we can using from that IC engine, there is a different types of dynamometer. The first dynamometer is a mechanical brake drum dynamometer. So from this photographic view, we can see this internal combustion engine is coupled from the output of the shaft is, that is a brake drum. So in between this brake drum, we can connected the spring balance and we can apply the torque conditions. So next dynamometer is the electric swing field dynamometer. From that engine output shaft, we can connect at the generator. So from this voltmeter, from this rheostat, we can apply the load and find out the load test on the speed from the swing field dynamometer. So next dynamometer is hydraulic dynamometer. From here, with the help of that water force to applying from the impeller of the blade, so applying the load, so we can find out the load test in the hydraulic dynamometer. So and also we can find know about the various basic parameters using in the performance of the internal combustion engines. The first one is a brake power or power output. Shortly we can tell about that is a BP. So second one is a torque, third one is a fuel consumption, fourth one is a specific fuel consumption, fifth one is a brake mean effective pressure, sixth one is indicator mean effective pressure, and the seventh one is indicated thermal efficiency, eighth one is brake thermal efficiency, ninth one is mechanical efficiency, and the 10th one is volumetric efficiency, 11th one is heat balance. These are all the basic parameters in the performance of the internal combustion engines. So from this slide, we can discuss about the heat balance. As I told about the heat from the earlier, what is meant by heat balance? Heat balance is an account of heat input to the engine. From that heat will be input or heat from the fuel from that engine. From here, heat will be carried out from the three stages. One is a heat carried away by the cooling water. From that engine, we can using from the cooling water. That the cooling water will be circulated after that engine. We can carried the from the temperature from the cooling water. So next we can get the heat carried from the exhaust gas, and another one is the heat unaccounted heat is transferred from the atmosphere. These are all the three parameters used for the heat balance test. So in order to find the how the energy is appointed between the useful work, we can using the coolant, exhaust and radiation, etc., and how the appropriating varies the engine speed and load, and the engine heat energy balance test will be calculated. So if you go to the problem point of view, you should mug up these. These are all the formulas. These are very important. So first formula is that is a indicator power. So indicator power is nothing but that is a total power developed in the combustion of the fuel in the combustion chamber. It is called indicator power. So indicator power is shortly tell about that is IP. So IP is equal to that is indicator mean effective pressure, length of the stroke, and the area of the piston cylinder, and the N is denoted for the number of power stroke. For example, the two stroke means the N is denoted, but in the four stroke means N by 2 from the four stroke, and the K is denoted for the number of cylinder. So from the indicator power and the brake power, from the brake power is, as I told about earlier, the power developed of the engine at the output shaft is called brake power. From the brake power is equal to, that is generally we can tell about, that is a 2 pi nt divided by 60 into kilowatt. That 2 pi n is the speed of the engine, T is the torque, and 60. So based upon the brake power, we can get the brake power is equal to brake mean effective pressure, L that is a stroke length, and A is area of the piston cylinder, and the small n is denoted for the number of power stroke, and K is denoted for the number of cylinder. And also the other formula for the brake power is equal to, brake power is equal to 2 pi nt divided by 60. From the unit is kilowatt. So next we can very important, that is a frictional power. We can find out the frictional from the various method, that is a Williams line method or from retardation method. So from that brake power value and the fuel consumption value, based upon this value we can find out the, from the Williams lines method or extrapolation method, we can find out the from the graphically from the friction power. Otherwise if the friction power is equal to indicator power minus brake power. So next one is the indicated thermal efficiency. The indicated thermal efficiency is equal to the ratio of indicated power by heat supplied. The heat supplied is, that is a mass of the fuel into calorific value. That the next one is a brake thermal efficiency. The ratio of brake power divided by heat supplied. That is a brake power is from the efficiency of the brake thermal efficiency equal to brake power divided by the mass of the fuel into calorific value. So next one is the mechanical efficiency. The mechanical efficiency is denoted from the ratio of indicated power by brake power. So next one is a brake specific fuel consumption. The brake specific fuel consumption is equal to mass of the fuel divided by brake power. That is mass of the fuel is, that is a kilogram per hour, from the brake power is kilowatt. So after that we can know about, these are all the very important parameter if you are applying from the indicator power or brake power. That is the small n is equal to capital N by 60. The capital N is the speed of the engine for the two stroke engine, but in the four stroke engine, that is a N divided by 2 into 60, that is a from four stroke engines. So next one is, that is indicator specific fuel consumption. From indicator specific fuel consumption is equal to mass of the fuel divided by the indicator power. So next one is the volumetric efficiency. The efficiency of the volumetry is equal to that ratio of volume of charge, that is a suction side, divided by the swept volume. So that's why we can tell about the V suffix A divided by V suffix X N into K. And also from that heat supplied, that is a heat supplied is that is a Q suffix X is equal to mass of the fuel into calorific value. From the calorific value from the petrol engine is, that is a 44,000 kilojoules per kg, from kilojoules per kg, but in that diesel engine, that is a 42,000 kilojoules per kg. From here the mass of the fuel is kilogram per second, and the calorific value of the unit is kilojoules per kg. So generally the calorific value, the heating value of the fuel. So next we can go to the heat balance sheet, means you can use this formula, that is a, the first one is a heat supplied by the fuel, that is a heat input. Already I know about, that is a heat supplied is equal to mass of the fuel into the calorific value of the fuel. Next one is, as I told about earlier, from that heat balance sheet, the heat will be carried out from the three category. One is a, that is a heat, cooling water, and exhaust, the heat is carried from the cooling water. Another one parameter is unaccounted heat will be carried. After that the exhaust gas will be carried out the heat. So from these three category we should find out the heat balance sheet. So first one is, that is heat supply of the fuel. So second one is the heat supply of the fuel from the brake power, that is a brake power is equal to 2 pi nt divided by 60 into 1000. After that, as I told about the air, so from here, from the heat balance, there is a three losses. One is the cooling or carried from the heat will be carried from the cooling water, heat will be carried from the exhaust gas, and heat will be carried from the unaccounted heat input. So from heat losses due to the cooling water means we can denote it from the Q suffix W equal to mass of the water and the specific heat of the water C suffix W into that is a TW2 minus TW1. This TW2 is the output of the cooling water and the input of the cooling water is TW1. So next one is a heat carried away by the exhaust gas is Q suffix G equal to M suffix G, that is a mass of the gas, and the specific heat of the gas, that is a from the specific heat of the air 1.005. After that, the exhaust gas outlet temperature and the inlet temperature, that is ambient temperature, that is a exhaust gas temperature is sufficient denoted by T suffix G2. After that, unaccounted heat losses, that is a Q suffix U suffix A. That's why from the unaccounted heat loss is carried out from heat input, that is Q suffix X minus heats from that break power heat output and cooling water carried out from the heat. After that, exhaust gas came. So finally we can find out the unaccounted heat losses. For example, if you find out the heat balance, it means we get the 100% from that efficiency. We can find out chart will be prepared from the heat balance chart will be prepared there. From the here there will be three category. The heat will be carried out from the input of the engine. So one is a cooling water, another one is exhaust gas, another one is unaccounted heat losses. So from the problem point of view, you can so mug up this formula is very important. So from this slide, we can discuss about the how to efficiencies related to IC engine performance. So you can see this flow chart from here. That is a from the first condition is the combustion of the fuel and the air is entered to the combustion chamber. So first power is we get the fuel power. From the fuel power is goes to the indicator power. So with the help of this indicator diagram is generally that is how to the atmosphere carries entered to the combustion chamber based upon that what are all the stoke, that is a isentropic compression process, a constant power of constant heat supplied process. After that, isentropic expansion. After that, from the heat rejection process based upon the indicator power, that is a total power developed from the combustion of the fuel in the combustion chamber. Finally, that is a brake power. For example, we can find out the indicator for mechanical efficiency means that is a brake power divided by indicator power. That is a brake power is that is a frictional power plus brake power. Next, brake thermal efficiency means that is a brake power divided by fuel power. That is a fuel power. Here the brake thermal efficiency. After that, the indicator thermal efficiency means indicated by power divided by fuel power. So from this, from the laboratory point of view, or from you can draw the characteristics curves in the economic load in the various load conditions. So from that y-axis, that is a brake thermal efficiency and a specific fuel consumption. From x-axis, that is a brake power. So from here, how to find out the economic load means maximum brake thermal efficiency from this point is the maximum brake thermal efficiency and the minimum specific fuel consumption from this point. So in between this maximum brake thermal efficiency and minimum fuel consumption, that point is known as the economic load conditions. So from these characteristic curves, we can find out the various load tests. One is a torque, indicated thermal efficiency, brake mean effective pressure, indicated mean effective pressure, and mechanical efficiency. These are all the curves are you can draw from the laboratory point of view, and we can find out the performance test and combustion test and emission test carried out from the laboratory classes. So thank you.